Hello, I am Kjellsberg and welcome to Tyranny. Still 17 items since last visit. Don't know exactly what I need to do. I think I need to go pick them up somehow, but I'm not sure exactly what to do about it. Right, can we jump down this way? No, we have to climb. Climb down the cliff. And further climbing was required if I remember correctly. Yeah, down here. Actually leave the map this way if you really wanted to. Right, so this way somehow. Howling Rock. Further down, not quite. Right, so it's one of our horde guys. There's a thing. Extract some crystals. I guess we could do that. This particular fence, is that breachable in some way? Palisade wall. The dense wall combined with the steep drop on the camp serves as an effective barrier. While not scalable, you do notice a small hole between two of the logs. Take a look through the hole. Rollo. So I woke in the middle of the night and this beast woman was standing over my bedroll. Before I could call out, she sprayed me, covered me head to toe in some foul-smelling musk. I had to burn the uniform. That's quite a story. The Earthshaker clears her throat. How are the Gulf Glow excavation coming along? Any word from Basilian? No, not even a missive, and they've yet to return. He sighs longedly. I doubt they're doing anything but taking their fine time considering who's leading them. In his mind, I suppose there's nothing pressing about the ritual we're about to commence. He'd be lucky if I don't wring his gangly neck upon returning with the Lodestone's Master Radix. Only chose him because his staff is flittered with pure azurlith, but the fool's likely to lose it as anything. And what are we going to do if someone uses it to get into the compound? Who, a beast or chorus chanter? Don't be ridiculous. Rollo says, a shoe scuffs in the dirt, you asked. So Rollo is maybe correct here. The conversation continues, but the voices fade into obscurity as the pair walk away from the wall. Pursuit of Cairn, addendum added. What does that give for us? Scout the camp. Tell Octave about the information you've gathered. I see. We see. There's Octave. What did you find, boss? The Earthshakers manipulate the terrain to both prohibit and allow access in their compound. It might be able to accomplish the same, using a shard of pure azurlith. Yeah, let's do that. If any object could move the mountains, it'll be that. Best get our hand on it, any means necessary, eh? Anything else I ought to know about? That's everything I found. With a decisive nod, Octave hacks a backish gob of spit onto the ground. Let's know when you've fletched a shard from the Earthshakers. I'll return it to you once you've taken care of it. He nods absently, flipping, fingers dipping in his side pocket for a fresh dab of Vagrant's chaw. Retrieve the shard of azurlith. Gulf Glow's disfavored commander who holds the shard of azurlith needed to enter the Earthshaker camp of Howling Rock. So to speak with the guy again. Same particular guy that we spoke to earlier and made a truce with. Alright. Alright. So where do I find a guy that we can steal Azereth's thingy from? I don't know. I don't know. Let's try to peek again through this fence here. See if that reveals any other new information. Probably doesn't. But let's at least give it a try. Are the preparations done? Okay, give us a bit more. They are. We set out shortly after nightfall. That gives us a fighting chance of avoiding the beasts or anyone else who wants to get in our way. When will you return? Not until morning, I expect. Okay. So how and where do I intercept you then? This won't help, I guess. Can't hear anything at the moment. And where exactly are you going? Guess we can tell Octave. Or Octave. Nothing yet. So that was not the information we were looking for. At Golf Glow is the server commander. Okay, so we have to go back. Guess that is what we'll have to do. Speak to the same guy we've spoken to earlier. Right, and there's an out button here somewhere, right? Where are you? There you are. There's a Howling Rock, Golf Glow. You are here somewhere, right? Golf Glow, Old Walls, Runic Halls. Don't know where you were. Try the Old Walls. And see if the guy is still around. A feeling he's not here. He was here, so I think he's now outside the front door to the Old Walls then. Or the spire, or whatever it's called. So here. You sure want to instantly teleport? Yeah. That we are sure of. Do we go inside now? Oh, inside, so he's outside this door, I think. I think he was outside the store. And I think that is indeed you. Well met on your return, Fatebinder. I'm in need of a shard of pure Azereth. What would happen to be one near the end of your staff with it? You have a shard of pure Azereth, I am to take it, hand me over, or what not? I'll go with number one here. It would, he regards you curiously, but why would I just hand you my staff? I suppose you could use it to rattle some pebbles, but you are not an Earthshaker, you can't possibly mean to use it for a greater Earth spell. If it weren't for me, the Stonestalkers would have killed you and your entire excavation crew. You owe me, Earthshaker. I think I'll go with that one first. He sighs greatly, put out by the sheer notion, but he raises his tanned and weathered hands to placate you. Fine, I suppose I can replace it, given enough time and luck, but you had better treat it with care, Fatebinder. Azeroth is such purity and resonance, and is a rare and valuable find. Take it, and for the love of Cairn, do not make me regret this. Which will probably will do. Alright, let's head on in. And head on up to the top of the tower. That's my plan, at least. And one thing I wanted to check out is if I could go to the other tower here in an instant. Not this one. Not this one. This one here, Mountain Spire. Just teleport instantly, yeah, I can. Alright. I don't have anything to do here really. Maybe I'll change my party composition just to have done that. Here I see sigils are lighting up, so there are more of them to be found all the way around. And these people here are also present. Right, let's go rest. Journal, yeah, that's the thing, and then a missive. Greetings, Conrad, you are correct. There are spires all across Therathus. The exact distribution of these monuments fuels all sorts of debate and speculation, but two facts seem commonplace. Most spires are built near old walls. Your mountain spire is a notable exception, and nearly every culture that predated Kairos has some local myth to explain the builders of these spires. I believe the Tiersmen cite the older realms as their local name for the spire old walls architects, but nobody knows for sure. And of course, where Kairos has brought proper civilization, the origin of the spires simply isn't discussed in good company. Here's what I think you need to know. First, the spires behave as arcane lodestones. There's a constant field of magical strength around the spire. If you imagine a mystic sea resting atop of our world, the spires seem to spin and churn this magic, creating a spell cast with even the modest effort will materialize with powerful results. Second, I'd say most tellingly, Kairos has laws against entering the old walls, but there are no laws against the spires. You could infer from this that means Kairos has no issue with the lay folks messing with the spires, but wishes to keep us safe from the old walls. Or could you think like an overlord and know that if you place a rule against something, you make forbidden and desirable? Now I find it telling that Kairos forbids the hallways that leads to the spires, but does not paint the target on the spires themselves. Last but not least, as a young Fatebinder, I once had to oversee the case of a man who had built a shrine to Kairos around the base of a spire in the far southeast. I could find no evidence of falsity or slander. His shrine was most reverent and loving tribute as I've ever seen. At one point though, this man claimed he had evidence that Kairos was there back in -50. He had merely uttered those words, and my senior binder swung the axe, and then and there, being the new girl at the court, I said nothing, but I have long wondered why such comment should require death instead of the traditional removal of his tongue. Alright, inquire about edicts and their nature. Dear Matthias, thank you for hearing me out. I have more questions than I have ink, but let me start with a discussion of Kyros's edict. I've lived under proclaimed and result edicts, which makes me far more knowledgeable than the layperson on the subject, and yet I still know so little. I guess we can send this as well. Right. Let's rest for 8 hours. And I think it's time to...
You look as if you have something on your mind. By all means. What can I do for you?
Time to, what's it called? Reorganize, but maybe we could talk about your connection with Verse.
This is not a worthy topic for our time together, Fatebinder. The Scarlet Fury and I have our differences and our similarities, but they are none of your concern.
Alright.
Speak for yourself, you overstuffed mound of scrap metal. I've got nothing to hide from the binder here. Would you rather I told the story?
Very well. Since you force my hand, I will relent. Though know that it goes against my very being to tell of it.
Oh, Crest. More fear or something.
We are siblings. Half-siblings. Regrettable and repugnant as that fact might seem, it is true. Though the products of different nations and cultures, we have the distinction of sharing a father. I am disgusted by the thought that my father lay down with some low-born southern farmhand. But my horror does not spare me from the truth of it. So I accept the fact and try to move on.
Interesting.
You should take it as a compliment to our father's skills. My mother's a tough woman to please. I rather think I took after him, don't you?
Okay. How did you come to be aware of this?
During the conquest, the Scarlet Chorus made sport of shooting down messenger birds on their way to the disfavored camp. Anything they could accomplish to hinder our efforts or embarrass us was fair game. My father sent a missive intended for my eyes alone. By incredible chance, Verse intercepted it and recognized the name and handwriting. She found me in camp that evening, and we discussed our unlikely situation. We've done everything in our power to keep the word quiet. Not many in the Legion know that I share blood with a Southerner, much less a chorus rat.
Don't worry, Barrack. When my old gang boss caught wind of our discovery, I killed her and took the gang for myself. Our secret's safe with me. It was, anyway.
Do you even like each other?
Not particularly. She is unstable at the best of times, and a hardened killer at the worst. I don't know what her family did to her, but she lacks any pretense of human decency.
It takes one to know one. Don't act like we're so different, Barrack. You're the most repressed and intolerant soldier I've ever met. You hide it under duty and pride, but it's still there. I've asked myself about that several times, but unfortunately I don't have what you'd call a definitive answer. The Northerners put a lot of meaning behind family and blood. Seems arbitrary to me, but I don't want to discredit it entirely. There have been times when I acted strangely on the battlefield and could find no reason why, or gotten distracted and had thoughts I couldn't explain. I suppose there's no telling for sure, but if I had to guess... yeah. Sometimes I get messed up in my head, and learning I had a brother has helped me understand that better.
Alright.
Well, Verse has a nasty habit of jabbering in my ear and making this war intolerable. I plan on parting ways and returning to the north at first convenience. My father will answer for his infidelity. Beyond that, I am happy to consider myself in every way unaffected. My superiors once accused me of having an impulsive streak, but I have worked to suppress it at every turn.
When you go back home, send Father my fondest greetings and thanks. If he hadn't gone to ground on my mother's dry dock, I might not be here today.
My heritage was a point of pride and distinction before I met you, Verse. Not that you would care.
Okay. See
if you would have me travel at your side, then I am not opposed to seeing more of this degenerate realm. Onward.
Right, let's move Killer to Shadow and add Barrack here for the time being. And Barrack, you haven't been around for a while, so you probably need some leveling up to do. Yeah, 2 points. I don't know, let's go with one of this and one of these. Save. Talents, we've gone all the way down the Punisher tree, it looks like. Root in place, gains immunity to push from prone and such. Pick that one, and then here. Engagement attack, requires 6 talent points, increases the chance for Barrack's engagement attacks to occur. Once per combat, when Barrack's health is critical, he gains a bonus to might and resolve until combat ends. For each enemy engaging him, Barrack gains a bonus to any damage he deals. Let's go with this one. Right, and is there still 17 or something items here? How do I pick them up? I don't know. Any location? Any lootable? Nothing obvious. Oh well. Let's head on out and back to the other tower, the Aurora Tower, and go here. And then down to, was it here? I think it was here. I think so. And see what we can see here, I guess. New message. It's difficult to separate fact from superstition when it comes to edicts, as it seems only Kairos knows how it all works. The rest of us are left to live the fear and ponder it all. Kairos edicts are sort of magic above and beyond even the archons. I dare say the edicts are stronger than Kairos, as there's no evidence Kairos can willingly stop an edict once set into motion, which is in part why Kairos' edicts seem to have an until or unless clause in their wording. I know the edict, as powerful as it is, requires human voice to complete the casting. Thus the Overlord has people like you proclaiming edicts cast far from the Imperial throne. The magic is Kairos magic, but the human voice is the final carrier or trigger to complete the magic phenomenon. And here's what's most fascinating, at least as far as you're concerned. There have been dozens of mortal agents who have been made to proclaim edicts. 2/3 of them die within a decade, and many gave reports of lingering mystic scars from the ordeal. And there have also been a handful to resolve or break an edict. These until and unless clauses get fulfilled from time to time, and I've seen similar pattern in history. Those who resolve an edict often live short lives, and many speak of arcane side effects of the shattered edicts. Here's where you're unique. To the best of my fact finding, you are the first to proclaim and break the exact same edict. Whichever mystic power is involved in the creation and destruction of such magic, you're the first to stand at the terminus of both. Now that I know the spires can be awoken, it makes sense that if anything can or would wake them from slumber, a shattered edict seems the likely culprit. Kairos has other edicts in place throughout the tiers. If you truly wish to learn more, perhaps you should take it upon yourself to shatter those edicts. After all, if Kairos did not wish for the edicts to be broken, why include a termination clause? Right, I'm not sure I follow that logic all the way, but alright. I appreciate the information, thank you for sharing. Knowing that you know of my situation, what would you do? Alright, send this information also. And head back to Octave, which was over here somewhere. I am in the wrong place, aren't I? I think I am. Where are we supposed to go? Journal. Howling Rock. Yeah, we're in the wrong place. Aren't we? Aren't we? Where are we supposed to be? There we are, Howling Rock. That's where we're supposed to be. Right, I think I'll walk up to the octave person and then take a break there because the time has gone for quite some time now, and octave is around here, so okay, we can't actually walk the entire route. Climb somewhere, I guess. Yeah, climb down over here. Climb. And then we should be able to get to octave. Yeah, there you are. Alright. And we have another edict here. Tune in favor 1. Based on what you told me, it seems a stretch to believe these events are mere coincidence or circumstance. Kara's edicts of execution was a setup for someone to claim Ascension Hall. To think that Kairos did not know what would happen is a massive underestimation of the Overlord's long view. You have been thrust into the arena of the mighty. Your options are retreat into obscurity, suicide, or rising to the occasion. I suggest the third option. If I were you, I would use my connection to the spires to see if they will awaken you to if they will all awaken to my presence. Every tearsman sees the spires in the horizon, and if they know you are the master of the spires, they will see you each time they look up to the sunrise or sunset. Foster a reputation for power, may make others fear you. This is what I've seen Kairos and every living Archon do for as long as I've lived, and there is a reason for this. There is the practical case that power and reputation insulate you from threats, but there is the lesser known element that I can't prove, but I've known in my heart to be true. Fear and love of others will strengthen your magic. This last part I've inferred from my discussions with Bled and Mark, and the few times he's spoken of this gruesome work of slaying those who might rise to threaten the Overlord. He has hinted that it's easier to kill the rogue elements before they become famed and fearsome. In my lifetime I saw Graven Ash change from an unknown military man to a fearsome general, and I can assure you he did not have the power to shield his warriors in those days when he was without title or reputation. The Archons will never ever discuss the origin of their power, because such knowledge might be used against them. But I have known all the Archons to be obsessed with the preservation of power. Your connection to the spires will all but guarantee the Archons will want to control and destroy you. It's a question of if, not when. Start thinking and acting like an Archon. As far as I'm concerned, you are an Archon, the Archon of the spires. We are quick to place labels on powers we easily spot, and history is replete with Archons of fire and ice. It is foolish to think there must be a word for a thing before an Archon can control it. And the other way around, the Archons show us what is possible, and we must step in their dance. Alright. Ask about Kairos' wrath. long text. I guess I'll just send this one. Can read it later, I guess. Right, I will take a break here. Thank you very much for watching.